Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation, your everyday Rangers news channel. I'm Owen James. This is the reaction to the press conference where our spineless, gutless captain has spoken to the media as well as the manager himself as well. We'll go through a little bit of what both of them have been saying. I've got to say, reading on X, a lot of the comments that are on X, a lot of anti-Tav comments, a lot of hate towards James Tavernier, which is to be expected. I think, Tav is seeing, whilst he is not the whole problem, Tav is seeing has been a big part of the problem here. I must admit, I used to have respect for the man. I've got to say, I absolutely detest him with a passion now. I cannot stand him anymore. The comment that he made, one of the comments that he made before we get on to what the manager said, Tavernier talked about the fact that he's the captain and he's trying to deliver the best possible performance that that they can. Well, if that's the best possible performance you can deliver, James Tavernier, then you're an absolute fucking useless twat, because at the end of the day, mate, you jog back when you're meant to be sprinting back to defend. You don't defend very well at all. You jog to get to set pieces. You don't show any urgency to support your defensive teammates. And you end your weakness, your inability to defend, your inability to be a footballer, which you are not anymore. You're a pub player, is pulling the defense all over the place and making the defense seem weaker because of your presence in it. He is. I genuinely don't understand how he can continue as captain, or how he has the nerve to sit there and talk to the media, or how he has the nerve to be the captain anymore, how he has the nerve to lead the team out anymore. If he had any respect, if he was any sort of a man, he would go to Phillipe Clement and ask to be stood down. Honest opinion on him. Like I said, I genuinely hate the guy now with an absolute passion. Genuinely cannot stand him. Phillipe Clement has spoken to the media post obviously pre this game on Sunday, a semi-final. I've got to say again, it's just the same old, same nonsense statements that mean absolutely nothing. Same statements that are empty statements that have no substance to them at all. It's the same old crap week in, week out. He isn't addressing what the main issues are. Whether that's because the media there are just absolutely spineless and won't push him on this, I don't know. But he genuinely talks the biggest load of horseshit ever. We'll go through some of his comments. I'll give you my opinions on them, and obviously I'll look for your opinions on them as well. He said there were things we did well for sure, things we didn't do well on Wednesday, which we discussed today. Things can change fast in football with the right spirit. We are working hard with the squad to improve. Well, if that's working hard for the squad to improve, I've seen absolutely zero improvement from the start of the season to now. In fact, I think it's got worse, if anything, the type of play that we've seen from this team. It's slow, it's boring, there's no aggression to it, there's no shape to it, there's no style to it, there's no tactics to it, there's no movement to it. We've probably got the worst centre forward in the whole of Britain. It just makes no sense whatsoever. He went on to say, I am very confident in the longer term story. It's about small margins and making it better. Last season, we turned things around in a short time, and I'm convinced we can do the same. Of course, we wanted the result on Wednesday, but I saw a team that tried until the last minute. Well, I didn't, Phillipe. I certainly didn't. I think the vast majority of Rangers fans didn't see a team that tried until the very last minute at all. They didn't give up, and we will continue fighting to get more consistent football like we saw against Malmo and FCSB. Well, with the greatest of respect, Phillipe, Malmo and FCSB were absolute pure shit. I reckon an English League One team could probably beat FCSB and Malmo, to be perfectly honest with you. So I don't think that's anything to stand by. I'm surprised he didn't bring up the Ross County result again. We know how he likes to bring that one up. He talked about turning things around in a short time. Yes, there was that new manager bounce when he first came in, which there always is when new managers come in. But he talks about this being a longer term story. He went on to say there's been a major turnaround in the summer, getting younger players and cutting wages. The club knows it's the start of a better period. Well, this is not a better period. This is a worse period. This team is worse than last season's team. This team is worse than Michael Beale's team. This team is worse than Gio's team. So I find that statement absolutely, an absolute lie. The club knows it's the start of a better period. We don't see it in results now, but the foundations are being grown for a more healthy club in the future. Well, yeah, they may be, but in terms of financial side of it, qualifying for the Champions League to supplement and pay off that £17 million debt, Phillipe, that's not happening. The squad is substantially weaker. The trading model will only work if you actually develop and get the players better. But I would argue at the moment, these young players that we have brought in, Diamande, Hefte, Barron, Andy Gaman, for example, he has not developed them or made them better in any way, shape or form. So that is a ludicrous statement from Phillipe Clement. And what I find the most irritating is this. It's a longer term thing. It's a longer term thing. Well, I'm sorry, Phillipe. Aberdeen have brought a new manager, put together a squad on a shoestring, and are playing better football than we are. You look around a number of teams in Europe, a number of clubs in England where managers have changed. They've brought in new managers. They've brought in new players. They've changed things around in a short time, and they're already playing good football. This rubbish that he keeps trotting out over it will take time. It will take time. He's making himself look ridiculous because he was the one that said you will see a better Rangers in October and November. Well, we are now in November. October was probably one of the worst months I've seen in a very long time. The calibre of football we played in October was absolutely hopeless. So he's made himself look a right tit. I mean, he really has. He said there are several things we can do much better to get more consistent results. Our basics need to be solid all the time. Well, the basics aren't there. They're just not there. There's no shape. There's no style. There's no tactics. There's no formation that works. That's his fault. He's the manager. A good coach develops a style, develops a shape, develops a formation, organises them and gets his team playing in an effective manner. And I don't care what squad you've got. Any team can be organised effectively and become hard to beat. Any team. And the argument that these players aren't good enough, yes, may work in Europe against Lyon, against the Nices, the Tottenhams, the Manchester Uniteds of this world. But when you've got a squad that's coming up against the crap like Kilmarnock and St Johnstone and Hibernian and Hearts, I think we underestimate how crap the rest of this league is. There is absolutely no way that any Rangers team should be struggling against the likes of St Johnstone, the likes of Hearts, the likes of Hibs, the likes of any of those teams, even to some extent Aberdeen. I mean, like I said yesterday, that 11 there, if you put that 11 out there, any of those 11 players would walk in, apart from Celtic, would walk into any of the other SPL teams in this league. Any of them. Okay. You would get all those 11 would walk into Aberdeen's team. All those 11 would walk into Hearts' team, into Hibs' team, into Kilmarnock's team, into St Johnstone's team, into Dundee's team, into Dundee United's team. Okay, they would all walk in. They would walk into their teams or into their squads anyway because they're better than what they've got. Yet we make this excuse the players aren't good enough. Well, it's not the players that aren't good enough. It's the way they're organised, the way they're disciplined, the way they're asked to play, the way they're instructed to play. Take an example. Manchester United, for example, have looked absolutely shite at the start of this season. Their football has been awful. Their football has been poor. It's been rudderless, tacticless, shape. Pretty much all the things Rangers been. Ruud van Nistelrooy comes in, organises them, sorts them into a shape that actually suits them. I think they played 4-4-2 the other night. Puts them with two wingers, puts them with two central midfielders, two strikers, and they win 5-2 because they've organised in a way that actually works. Now, I know they have a lot better players than us, but if we had a manager that could organise these players and organise that team, then I firmly believe we would actually be doing a hell of a lot better than we're doing now. And that is down to Phillipe Clement and the fact that the guy is not a fit coach. He said, I knew it was a big challenge we would have this season. We are going to work hard to make this happen. Again, you can keep talking about working hard, but it's not about working hard. It's about working smart. It's about working clever. It's about using what you've got and using the actual tools that you've got at your disposal to get an effective model out on the pitch and get an effective product down the pitch. And we're just clearly not seeing that at all from the manager, from the team, from anyone. I mean, there is so many problems with this team at this moment in time. Like I said, the playing style is genuinely dreadful. The tactics are genuinely dreadful. The shape is non-existent. The way we play is just poor. And that's the manager. That's all on the manager. That's not on the players. That's on the manager, because he's not motivating them. He's not organising them. At the end of the day, you can, yes, some of it, okay, I'll rephrase that. Some of it is on the players, because some of the players are not good enough. Let's take this out. James Tavernier is not good enough to play for Rangers anymore. James Tavernier is not good enough to play for the Dog and Duck. Cyril Dessers is not good enough to play for Rangers. Cyril Dessers is not good enough to play for the Dog and Duck. So neither of those players should be making any type of appearance for this club at any point. They should both be out of this side and permanently out of this side. There's no excuse. There's literally no excuse for that. And at the end of the day, as David Edgar said the other day, about Dessers, that he's an empty shirt. He is an empty shirt. And people say, well, we can't play Lovelace, we can't play Iggerman. Yes, but they will learn. They will get better through these experiences. And it's not like Dessers is offering us anything at this moment in time. He hasn't scored in the last 8 games. He has been absolutely woeful in the last 8 games. Play Lovelace, play Iggerman up front. Yes, they may make mistakes. Yes, they may not be 100% perfect, but at least they will learn and they will get better. They're young players. Dessers is 29, going on 30. He ain't going to get any better. In fact, he's going to get worse, which is a quite scary thought. Change the formation, change the shape, try something different, because what you're doing at the moment isn't working. And like I said, as a good coach, a good manager looks at a team. He has, yes, his preferred formation, but if that team does not fit how he wants to play, if he doesn't have the players to play how he wants to, then you have to change the shape of the team to match the players you've got. That's good coaching. That's good management. If we went with something like this, for example, a 4-4-2 with Cass at right back, Suter, Balogun and Ridvan in the back 4, Cheney on the right wing, Bowen and Raskin in the middle, Kiefte on the left, Bayrami in the 10 role behind the striker Danilo. 4-4-1-1, 4-4-2, whatever you want to call it. Something different. That also provides flexibility in the fact that you could even go into a 4-2-4. You could drop that in. You could even drop that into a 3 at the back with Ridvan pushing on to be a left wing back. You could shape that any way you want. You can have flexibility there, but Clement is so stubborn that he won't change it. Now, I've listened and I've watched this press conference, and I'll be honest with you, again, listening to him just makes me angry. It just makes me angry. I actually, if I was there, I'd love to push him on this and tell him that he is talking absolute twaddle, that he really is talking absolute crap all the time. He talks about this long term, but the questions that he's asking is, well, yes, Phillipe, but why is it that other managers can come in, substantially change their squads, substantially change their players, but have a playing style, have a shape, be difficult to beat, play effective football, yet you can't get that out of these players who are all better than what you played against? It doesn't make any sense. Clement doesn't make any sense. Clement is going to limp through to the end of the season, and this team will struggle. Yes, we may win on Sunday because Motherwell aren't great, but this team relies on moments. It relies on individuals doing something brilliant to get a goal. Bayrami on Wednesday night, for example. It doesn't rely on excellent team play. When have you ever watched a game recently and gone, that was excellent team football from Rangers to get that goal? Brilliant. It doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. And to listen to him come out with the crap he's come out with again, and then to insult it, the crowning turd in the water pipe. And yes, I am calling him a crowning turd. James Tavernier talking to the media and just talking utter shit yet again is just, it just beggars belief. It genuinely does. I mean, the sooner that Clement is gone, the sooner that James Tavernier is gone. And I'll be honest with you, the fact that this man is in the Hall of Fame, James Tavernier is in the Hall of Fame, is an insult to those people who are in the Hall of Fame. It's an insult to the likes of Colin Steen, to the likes of John Gregg, to the likes of Paul Gascoigne, to the likes of Brian Laudrup, to the likes of Richard Goff, to real Rangers players, real Rangers stars, real Rangers quality, real Rangers royalty. James Tavernier is not fit to be in the Hall of Fame. James Tavernier is a 2-bit, second-rate League One footballer. That's what he is. And the fact he's in the Hall of Fame is an embarrassment for this club. It really genuinely is. Genuinely is. Guys, let me know your thoughts after today's press conference. Obviously, what we've talked about. Be interesting to hear what you've got to say. I know that I'm going to get an absolute shed load of abuse because I've called James Tavernier out. Because the Tav Bum boys will be loving it. I'll be honest with you, that man, like I said, it's a shirt down. You play Dessers, he will play Dessers and Tavernier on Sunday. I guarantee it. 2 shirts down straight away. Like I said, James Tavernier, I absolutely hate the guy. Can't stand him. Thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation, guys. Please remember always, we are the people.